Hi there, in this video we're going to take a deeper look at the Dutch perfectum. If this is the first time you hear about the perfectum, one of the Dutch past tenses, feel free to click on the button you see there appearing above. But assuming you already seen this video, we're going to take a look at 5 little tricks to better conjugate the Dutch perfectum. And we're going to start with the difference between zijn and hebben as an auxiliary verb. As you know, ik heb gewerkt, I've worked, and I've come, ik ben gekomen. Why is it zijn and why is it hebben? Well, each verb has either the zijn or the hebben as an auxiliary verb. And one little trick to remember is that the verbs that are related to movement are generally going to have zijn. For example, komen. Ik ben gekomen. When you come somewhere, then it's like a movement. You're coming to me, or you're going. Gaan is also one of these verbs. Ik ben gegaan. So then we're going to use zijn as an auxiliary verb. Blijven, to stay, is, well, it's not moving, so to stay. Okay, you can also relate it a little bit to this trick. Now, one important thing to know is that some verbs of transportation can have both zijn and hebben as an auxiliary verb. Okay. Please explain. Sure. Let's take an example. Ik ben naar Amsterdam gefietst and ik heb gisteren gefietst. The first one is I've cycled to Amsterdam, and the second one, yesterday I've cycled. I've done some bicycling or cycling. That's better. Okay, well, what's the difference here? Well, in the first example, we're using zijn, ik ben. Second example, we're going to use ik heb. So zijn and hebben. Why is there a difference here? Well, when with these certain verbs of transportation, we're going to go to a particular direction, then we're going to use zijn. Okay, that's quite advanced, right? Yes, it is advanced. And what are these verbs of transportation? Well, there's this one, fietsen. There's rijden, to drive, lopen, to run, vliegen, to fly, and springen, to jump. There are some other ones. The jump one I just put it there for fun, because you can jump to somewhere. Ik ben naar Amsterdam gesprongen. I've jumped to Amsterdam. Please don't do that if you're too far away from Amsterdam. It would be a little bit exhausting. All right, but remember that these verbs, when there's a direction, they use zijn. When there's no direction, they use hebben. So that's the first trick. But the second trick is a little easier. The second trick, or the second interesting thing to know, is that when you're using two verbs, like a modal verb and another verb, then we're going to do something special. For example, I've got to know him in Antwerp. I've got to know him in Antwerp. Got is one verb, know is a second verb. And what do you do then? Well, then we're going to use two infinitives, and not the past participle, not the thing with gewerkt, gegaan, gekomen, etc., etc. We're going to use the infinitive. Example, please. Well, ik heb hem in Antwerpen leren kennen. I've got to know him in Antwerp. And leren kennen at the end. The infinitives, you always put them at the end. So leren kennen. Two infinitives, no past participle. Oh, okay. Other example? Well, for example, with modal verbs, you can choose. For example, she had to work yesterday. You can say it in the imperfectum. Ze moest gisteren werken. And then moest would be in the imperfectum. But you can also say it in the perfectum. Ze heeft gisteren moeten werken. And moeten werken, there is no gewerkt there, no worked there, no, it's simply the infinitive. So remember, two infinitives, two verbs, we just put them in the infinitive and no past participle. Third little trick, when a verb is irregular in the imperfectum, it will generally also be irregular in the perfectum and the other way around. Most verbs, when they're irregular, they're really irregular. For example, ik zag, ik heb gezien. Both irregular. There are some exceptions. Obviously, it's Dutch. Ik heette and ik heb gegeten. But these are really exceptions. Alright, trick number 4. When a verb starts with ge, be, ver, ont, or her, then we're not going to put a ge in front of the past participle. Alright, example please. Gebruiken, starts with ge. Ik heb het gebruikt. I've used it. Not gegebruikt, no, gebruikt. Or I've discovered it. Ik heb het ontdekt. Is it geontdekt? No, ontdekt, because ont is on the list you see there. Now, I said ge, and I stress ge and not ge. For example, geven, with a long e, is ik heb het gegeven. And geven with a long e, it takes the ge. Alright, same so for be. If it's b, then we're going to use a ge. Alright? So, if you know a little bit of German, in German, there are similar things like that happen in German. But in German, it's even a little bit more. For example, when a verb in German starts with inf or int or st, then there will not be a ge. So if you know any German, pay attention to this. Ik heb geïnformeerd. Ik ben geïnteresseerd. Ik heb gestudeerd. So you have to put the ge there. But that's if you know German. Alright, a last little tip or trick is with separable verbs. If you don't know separable verbs, there's a little button appearing above there. In the past tense, when you have a separable verb, for example, oplossen, then we're going to put the ge in between the two, the little particle that splits up and the main verb. For example, for oplossen, ik heb het opgelost. I've solved it. And you see op, and then the ge in the middle, and then lost at the end. Alright, if you want to see a video with 100 exceptions of past tenses, both imperfectum and perfectum, you see it appearing there, and I will see you there because it's a great video because I made it. Alright, okay, tot ziens.